Hello everyone, this is DigiDM with 3D Animations module, release 1.3.29, and it is nearly Halloween in 2025, so I've got some creepy things. If we open up the 3D Animations compendium of creatures here, the first thing I have is a Specter, which when you automatically drag and drop it, this is the idle animation that it uses. We took a hero and threw them out there. You can see that it is about the size that we're looking for. Now, this is the blue version, and I'm automatically built in here with some of its life drain attacks. It moves towards it, bends over kind of thing. And also, if our hero didn't die from that hit, it can, I don't know if Spectre is probably resistant. See, it reacts, it has a little growl, and it dropped a few hit points. And then of course, if it's gonna die, it will have its own death animation. Let me see if I can turn this and then see what happens here. See that? And then it drops. Fantastic. So we bring this one back up to its idle animation. Probably number one there. We'll show the variations here. So we got the blue. If I go into the file browser here and choose my green Spectre, have a green, and then one more painted by Lodame. It's got a Patreon if you're interested, and there's a purple Spectre as well. All of these use the same set of animations, so you're going to get the same thing, but you sort of get to choose the color if you wish. So those are the Specters. Also, in this release, I guess we'll hang out here where the light is. This is a Gothic church from the community maps of 3DCanvas, so we'll pop over here where there's still some light. And we will bring out some other creatures that are in this release. And this, something I've been wanting for a while, which is a little challenging to do, but a owl. Ah, it's not in the releases here. Let's see, do we have an owl creature? We have an owl bear. I'm gonna have to, this is quick insert. If we pull out an owl, we'll see that 3DCanvas tries. That is definitely not an owl 3DCanvas, but you know, it tried. But we can hit Alt click and it'll, or just click and we can find an owl. If we wanted, there's some clockwork owls and that kind of thing. However, this is 3D animation, so we're going to take this owl here. I didn't even look at the features of an owl. Let's see. Talons. So we can go into our 3D animations under O and find our barred owl here. Now it's going to start static, and we can, I have some macros rather than zooming in and out to the menu. I will just use my macros to change to animation 1, which we see we have sort of a flying owl. If I brought that owl up, for instance, it would now be this flying owl, and of course we can go into remove the base. Now we just have a flying owl. Animation 2, something that doesn't exist. I'm gonna make it big so y'all can see it. in the MZ's models, but is a perched owl. So if you're looking to create a spooky scene this season, you can perch an owl somewhere, and this guy's just going to sort of do his thing, look around. 3 is a dead owl. If you wanted to, for some reason, creep out your players with a spooky scene of a dead owl, that's what that would look like. We do have a variety of these, which includes a great horned owl. If I pop into my great horned owl and update that, we'll bring it back to this flying animation and bring him up so folks can see that. This one has a little bit different eye set, is the most obvious compared to this one, which doesn't have the same, and of course a different pattern. And then finally we have the snowy owl. Bring that one back up too. There's the perched version, and we can see the differences there. So those are the owls in the release this month. And finally, one I'm really excited about. We will add some light here, so that way we can see this next creature I bring in, which will be the Gargoyle. So in the compendium, under G, you can just drag a Gargoyle, and you're going to get this creature here. Now it looks a little yellow because of the lighting I did, but I can assure you if that lighting was different, he would look very stone-like. So if we brought this into the more white zone, we can see that he's a stone color. Now MZ4250, who modeled this, gave us 2 models, and rather than having 2 separate models, you can have a perched version, which I have his eyes sort of closed, and you can set this up in a spooky type of scene. The hitbox is slightly above because that's where the main model started. And that's sort of how hitboxes can work sometimes. But as you can see, we now have a Gargoyle that's just perched. Maybe you have a bunch of these and only a few animate to throw your players off. And then of course we have our idle perched animation. A little bit of a blinking eye effect. We have a idle fly animation once they're in combat. Now the hitbox is much easier to understand. He's got a claw attack, which rather than manually triggering the automation, we can simply select him, target someone, and go into claw attack. And that's going to be a built-in animation right there. And last but not least, if someone does hit him and he dies, we've got, that's the claw. He's going to react. That's his reaction as he goes back to a flight mode. And then if he really, he's kind of made of stone. Let me see if I can bring him down to 1. See if any worthy heroes are out there. Let's bring out a wizard. Perhaps Zaina the wizard can use a firebolt. There we go. We see him crumble into stone pieces. Looks a little bit strange as those pieces will float, but if he was on flat ground, we see how that might work. So pretty cool effect for the Gargoyle. Bring him back up to life and change his animation index for a reset. So we've got Specters, Owls, and Gargoyles in this release. Hope you enjoy and have a happy Halloween.